Here we go. Let me see what I got to put up here. Here we go. I got to put everybody can see it. Yes, that's good. Let's see what we're putting up here. I believe it's the disclaimer as usual. Folks, coming to you right away. There it is, the webinar disclaimer. Webinar is designed to provide general information about property management for landlords and is intended for educational purposes only. The content does not constitute legal, financial, or tax advice. I read this because the lawyers and the internet says I'm supposed to. We, as in we, recommend consulting with qualified professionals for advice specific to your individual circumstances. In some cases, I am a qualified professional to help you with your circumstances. The information provided does not guarantee specific results. That is virtually impossible, as laws and regulations vary by location and are subject to change, and they don't tell me when they change. I have to go find out. The webinar organizers and presenters disclaim all liability for decisions or actions taken by you based on this information. All materials presented are protected by copyright law and may not be reproduced or distributed without prior written permission. By participating in this webinar, you acknowledge and agree to these terms. That means you stick around, you're going to live by these rules. And that's okay. So, let's see if there's anything in the chat. Any questions? Not yet. So I'm just gonna play it by ear for today. This February the 22nd. Hopefully y'all have been jumping on your tax information, putting that together. I've also sent out a Facebook post in a couple of groups. I'm working on kind of finalizing another book I wrote. And so if you're in any of the Facebook groups that see this or got the message, what I'm asking is for whatever your biggest problem is or whatever we want to hear about the book, just shoot me a message or go jump in the community and let me know what you want in the book. And for taking your time to do that, I give you the book plus a bunch of other free stuff that is already in the community that you get instant access to, like the tenant handbook and how to determine how to set your rent and application screening, and I think the top 5 things every rental agreement should have or must have, and a bunch of other things. So I might even do a video, put that out on what all's in the group. So yeah, wrap that up. That's everything about the group. Also, there's some really inexpensive AI I'm looking into for landlords that eliminates, or at least, yeah, it eliminates the tenant maintenance call at 2 in the morning or when you're on vacation. It's the AI handles everything if you set everything up the way it should be set up in advance. Sorry, there's like a bee in here. In advance, so you've got your handyman that can handle some maintenance emergencies and your plumber and all your vendors that I've talked about in other videos and where to find them and how to set them up. So this stuff, just like your property comes up for rent, it tells people about the property, it can schedule when they're available and you're available for showings. And on the topic of showings, I recommend that you schedule those out. Because we're still kind of winter time. Do them when it's daylight before it turns dark. One, for your own safety. Two, people can actually see what the property looks like in the daylight. And set a time frame, kind of like the way realtors do open houses. Pick a couple hours on a Saturday that works for you. Early in the morning or later in the afternoon. If you're willing to do it on a Sunday afternoon kind of thing, that could work good too. And schedule people to show up. It's one of those situations where there is safety in numbers. So if you've got yourself and your significant other, your business partner, your handyman, whoever can kind of drop by. And if there's 2 or 3 people that don't know each other that are showing up to look at the property, it does create psychologically a sense of urgency. The people showing up really like it. They want to beat out the other people that showed up that probably really like it. And so that makes it good to do. And while you're there, you can do a few little maintenance things like pick up trash around the yard, buy one of them Webster duster things and knock down the cobwebs and stuff around the front porch. Make sure your exterior lights are on and make sure all the windows are locked up, especially after everybody leaves. You lock the front door. You're still in the house. You go around and lock all the doors, the garage door, the side garage door, the door from the house into the garage, your patio slider door. And it's good to buy one of those inexpensive little pin locks and put that in there on your slider doors. You can put them down at the bottom or up at the top, whatever works. If you don't want to do that, a stick really works good too in the slider trap. Let's see. All the windows, make sure they're locked. Leave a light on somewhere, and you can buy, they're not inexpensive anymore, but you can buy a good quality LED light bulb. Won't burn as much electricity, and leave that on. Depending on the climate you're in, definitely probably leave the heater on. Some faucets dripping around the house so your pipes don't freeze, that kind of thing. That's good to just randomly go by and check on your property. Keep a log of that, because the time you spend and the mileage you spend, as far as I know, check with your CPA. But unless it's changed recently, that's a tax deduction for owning the property. So you do that. And the other thing I've done is made a little flyer for properties, and I've gone and just approached the neighbors and told them, look, here's my phone number. And I use, like we've said before, a Google phone number so they don't have your personal phone to blow that up. If you see anything going on, call the cops and then call me. Or if you happen to know somebody looking for a place, you get to pick who your neighbor is. And I present it to them that way, no pressure, just here you go, own the house next door. Don't get upset if they want to vent about the previous tenant or want to have 10 million suggestions about, well, don't let this family, or you're not going to let that or the other. If they start getting into things that deal with fair housing, you just explain to them you actually have to abide by the law. You know, if they qualify, doesn't matter what race, religion, anything else. If they qualify, you're going to rent to them. That's just how it goes. The other thing you're probably going to want to do, well, not probably, you're definitely going to want to do, go through with your cell phone, take a video of the house once it's all done and ready to rent, and save that on your YouTube page for your house. And when you do your YouTube page, you do the street and then the number. And you make that private YouTube video. That way, it can only be shared with people that are interested. And with some of the software that's available, you can give people links to go look at the video when they do an online application, if they're doing an online application. Which brings me to, I did make a affiliate connection with a company that I'm putting their link into the community. They've been around for a long time. They're reputable. They've got the rental agreements for the entire U.S., at least the continental U.S. I didn't look for Alaska and Hawaii. I should, now that I've got a broker in Hawaii. So find out if they're good for Hawaii. I think they probably are, though. And you can go on, download their, I think you get 1 or 2 free downloads of like a rental agreement, security deposit letters, that kind of stuff. And then it's very inexpensive to set up an account, and that's a business expense. Double check with your tax and accounting people, but that definitely should be a business expense. It's always been one in the past, I know that. So then there's that. In the community, there's information about screening applicants. I recommend you find a company, I'm looking for a couple, that will do all the tenant screening online and issue the denial letter. Kind of takes you out of the loop. You have to establish your written criteria. The couple I've looked at, it's kind of a checklist that you just fill out on their website. But the tenant pays them, they process everything, and then they'll send it back to you with their recommendations of thumbs up, thumbs down, or you maybe want to increase the deposit on this one, or we don't have enough information, ask the tenant to provide more. Or do you want us to ask the tenant to provide more? Or do you just want to deny them? I've always been adamant about any prospective tenant who cannot complete an application. There should be no blanks, and that is in the written tenant selection criteria. If you return an application that has missing information that is mandatory that we need, social security numbers, previous landlords, previous addresses, all that kind of stuff. I don't care if they're 18 and it's their first place, or they're 48 and it's their 5th place. Your application will be returned and or denied based on missing information. Keep in mind, people, that you're giving keys to an investment that you've got tens of thousands, if not more, wrapped up in. Depending on where you're located in the U.S., you could have $100,000 rental house, or you could have $1 million rental house. Either way, you're handing somebody keys to that and walking away and not monitoring them 24/7, because 1, it's probably not legal to do that, and 2, it's really not practical. It doesn't take long for somebody to destroy your investment. So you really want to know who you're giving keys to. I kind of break it down with when I was working out in Nevada and around Las Vegas and Reno, when they had the concierge at the hotels that would park the cars. I would tell people, you pull up in your car, your standard car, you throw the guys the keys, you don't think much of it. But you look around in that $250,000 Ferrari, that Aston Martin, that Mercedes, McLaren, they're parked right out there in that other little driveway, and there's no valet guy with the keys to that car. And they don't belong to the casino. They belong to the whales that are gambling in the casino, or they belong to the investors for the casino. Point being, you don't give a stranger access to that big of an asset without knowing something about them. So I think I beat that horse to death for everybody. Trying to think, had kind of a busy week with doing other things and working on the books. I didn't really, in all honesty, do a lot of research for this bi-week's video. I think in March, I'll do more research. Also, when you jump into the community, coming up this next week, I'm going to schedule out all the videos so you'll be able to see when they are in advance. And as I get topics for them, I'll drop those in there too, and whatever handouts that may go with it. I think that'll be helpful. I'm open to all kinds of suggestions. So whatever you guys come up with that you'd like to know more about, let me know. Since I don't have any questions, and in all honesty, it looks like everybody's out doing something else, and I'm the only guy here, this is probably going to be a very short video, but thank you. I appreciate you jumping on and watching this. Filled you in on a few things. Go join the community and go look at the videos I'm posting up on the Your Landlord Hub YouTube page. I appreciate you. I'll see you when I see you. May God bless. Thank you.